Beat.
It's The Beat London. It's 103.6 FM. It's your boy Jay Knox, live across London on the FM dial and on DAB digital radio, and of course around the whole wide world online at thebeat1036.com. But it's not just your boy Jay Knox in the building. I'm joined by the one, the long time legend. It's Kano.
Yes,
What
yes.
on, bro?
Good, bruv. Good morning.
Morning. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right.
Morning energy. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to drag it out.
You said you were going to be calm.
Hey, it's kind of calm, bro. But get me, my morning.
Yeah, I don't want to see.
This is
I
my
don't want to
calm.
see the evening.
This is my calm, bro. This is my calm. No, there's some people that's better in the morning, and there's some people that can work through the night and do all of that. Like, what way do you go? You a morning man or are you?
Yeah, I'm like a morning guy. Yeah.
I'm probably still more of a morning person, to be
Yeah.
fair. Nah, it's all good. Listen, enough love for coming through this morning and like chatting to man or whatever. What's going on? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Little time out making this album. Finally dropped it. You know, the love is real.
Yeah,
Just say that.
I hear that. No, definitely. Like, I've spoken to a lot of people and been like, "Yo, like, how you feeling?" From before it was coming out, before it was out. Say like, Kano's dropping an album. Like, how you feeling, bro? Everybody's been waiting for it. Like, there's no play around. Everybody's been waiting for it.
That's nice, man.
And I can only imagine what the feedback's been like. How has it felt? Obviously, people have been hitting you up, I'm guessing, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, it's been real. Just like, you know, fans out there just, you know, saying beautiful words, but then like peers just been texting me and calling me, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's nice to get that kind of love. Like I don't know, a wretch might text me and say, "Yo, this is his tune right now," and you know what I mean? It's like, I love that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we don't do it necessarily for, you know, the awards and to trying to get, you know, them to respect what we do. But when it's someone you respect, like another artist tells you, you know, that they're into something, that means a lot to us. You know.
No, it's interesting still. Like, obviously, it's been different. I wanted to kind of take it back a little bit. Like, because if we go all the way back to like early days in your career, like, let's face it, you've come through, like, we're in like YouTube mode now, and you've come through channel AKA, you've come through channel U, like, you've gone all the way right back. And back them times, obviously, you'd put stuff out, you was respected, you was doing your thing well, but obviously people couldn't hit you up the same way. They're not in your DMs, they're not tweeting you. So how's the difference? Because you've come through it all. There's not many people I can chat to that have come through both or every stage of it. How do you feel like the difference has been?
Before the social media.
Yeah.
It was really different. And even a step before that, because before Channel U, it was really pirate radio, where people knew what you sounded like, but they didn't even know what you looked like.
Bruv,
You know what I
trust
mean?
me, that was me.
So I remember the first time going Iron Appa and just like being out there, and you go to the beach in the daytime and whatever, and it's just all cool. You're just like, no one knows you. Then at night you jump on the mic and they're like, "Huh? You were the guy from at the beach? That's him." You know what I mean? I listened to you on the radio and that. So that was
Girls are like, we was talking to you at the beach earlier.
yeah. It's a completely different time. But yeah, that's why I respect. Obviously, I've been through a few kind of errors and you know, whatnot. But even the people that I respect, like DWEs, they was doing it from jungle. You know what I mean? Through to garage, then to grab, then to, you know what I mean? So it's like I appreciate and respect the longevity, and it's what I always wanted. You know, I only want to make music for as long as I feel inspired to do so, and at the moment I do. But if I can, you know, do another 10 years, it was something I pride myself on, you know.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, it's interesting you said like you'll do it like when you feel inspired. There's been periods where it's like we've had Kano, then we've not seen Kano for a while, and then Kano's come back with something. I was talking like I caught up with you last time properly. I think it was about 3 years ago, backstage at Reading Festival. We caught up. It was like you done what you done there. Like, headlined the stage. You had a band. It was sick. And then it's like, Kano's gone again for a bit. Then, like, what's happening in the gaps? Because again, I'm talking to people and saying, like, we're gonna have Kano on the show. Like, what do you want to know? What happens in those gaps? That's what people like want to know about. Like, is it that you're feeling uninspired? Is it that you're feeling like, you know what, I'm gonna take my time over this? Is it that you're traveling? Like, what's Kano doing in the gaps?
A little bit of all of that. Sometimes, like, especially in the gap before my last album, was a bit of, you know, feeling uninspired, and then, you know, not really knowing what to say or where to fit in. And then it was like, a couple seasons of Top Boy during that time as well.
Course.
You know what I mean? So that takes up a lot of time. And then it was like 3 years of putting the album together. That was last time. This time, it was really just making this album. I was never in that time not making this album unless I was filming Top Boy. So I filmed Top Boy, that took about a year to shoot.
Mad.
And then, 2 years on working on this. So I've been working every day, you know what I mean? But because when I haven't got music out, I kind of fall back from social media or whatever. That's why it feels like I'm not around. You know what I mean? If I was on set every day posting pictures or in the studio every day doing videos, they would know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I kind of like to just fall back. And that's my personality as well. I'm not like too in the mix. And then just like have something that I'm happy with and then just deliver it. You know what I mean?
Here you are.
Yeah. I prefer that.
The thing is, like, there's people that will try to do that. They'll go quiet before, just go and do what they're doing. And then they'll come with something. And bro, like, there's so much compared to like what it was like back in the day. Like, there's so much music,
So much other stuff in it.
like 1,500 releases a week or something. They're telling me
yeah,
Spotify. Like, there's so much music. Now there's people that come back with good songs, but they do get lost in the matrix.
Yeah.
Yours don't. Like, people are waiting for it. Like, why do you think that is? Especially when you stay off of social media and you're not trying to be in people's faces.
I don't know why, but I just know the intention is to just make music that's good enough so people have to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm immune to like making music that ain't all that and people, not really caring too much and I've lost a bit of momentum and all of that. I just feel like the level of quality has to be there, and even more so because I've, fallen back for a couple years. At times during the years of making an album, it gets to a point where you feel like, oh, man, I wish it didn't take so long. Like, I kind of want to be out now. And then the summer comes and you see all your friends, you know what I mean, headlining festivals, you know what I mean? You see all them smashing it and just thinking, I've just made a tune that I think can do, you know what I mean? But, you just got to be patient. Be patient because, there's nothing worse than putting out something that you're not really happy with and then everyone else isn't happy with either, you know what I mean? So I'll rather wait till it's right and do it that way.
No, it's interesting you say that because obviously a lot of like new artists as well listen to the show as well, and it's interesting because people always ask me like, what's more important, putting out real like quality music or stuff that you're really happy with, or just getting stuff out? It don't even matter if it's that good. Just throw it out. Just throw it out.
I think obviously my way is my way, and that's me. I was gonna say that's me today. I've probably always been that way, but I do think there is a time in your career where maybe you should put out more material. You know what I mean? Maybe at like the early stages of your career, like just release, man. I remember I used to do it. I would drop an album, then I was like, I want to make a mixtape now. Then I'll drop a mixtape 4 months later, and you know what I mean? And then do something else, and you know what I mean? Make a mixtape in a week and drop that out. Then have an album. You know what I mean? Sometimes it is about, just getting that out of your system, like an artist can't come in the game, drop an album and then wait, or drop a mixtape and then wait 3 years for the album. That might not, you know what I mean? But if you're, established and you've kind of built up some kind of trust with your fans.
Basically, if you're K.A.
No, it's like, it's because who would that, like, for me, like, I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan or whatever. He ain't got to drop a tune every month for me. He ain't got to drop an album every year, but I know when the album comes, it's probably going to be special.
Yeah.
He's worked on that.
No, I'll take that.
You know what I mean?
I'll take that. Like, obviously, back in the day, obviously, you're talking about volume. You're on radio, you're spraying new bars like every week anyway, I suppose. So that's a way of kind of putting out bare new material all the time.
Yeah, and I was writing constantly, yeah.
Can imagine, bro. Like, we was listening, we were listening constantly. That's what it is. It's pirate radio every single day you're listening. And like you're hearing new bits and then you go in school and talking about it or whatever and all of that. And then obviously you was featuring on some bits and pieces, bro. You featured with Mitchell Brothers. And all of them kind of things. Like, so when I said I'm going back a minute, when I was talking to people about like, what do you love about Kano? It's like the fact you've done all that stuff, even like your flow on that.
Yeah, a lot of collaborating from then. And I met them through Mike Skinner because I think he signed them. And Mike Skinner, I done a Fit But You Know It remix feature with, and he done a video for that, and that was my first ever video. So he put me in my first ever video. I remember I had a cream, big, long jacket on. I remember it.
How'd you link up with like Mike Skinner at that stage of your career?
I think he just reached out, you know.
Sick.
Yeah, he just...
Big up,
Yeah,
Mike,
I think he was just
boy.
a fan of what all of us were doing, and then kind of reached out to me, and then, you know, then I ended up signing to the same label that he was signed to, and then we done that remix.
And then do you like to this day, like you still in touch with him, like the
still in
Mitchell
touch.
Brothers, all them kind of
After that, not necessarily. I don't really see Teddy and Tony. That I see actually one of them at Mike Skinner's show that he had recently, but Mike then put me on his tour, so that was the first time I ever went on tour. So he done a lot for me, you know what I mean, and just showed me a different kind of life, and I've always like appreciated that, and I've always been inspired by him, and to this day we still talk, you know what I mean.
Sick, man. I love that. Like obviously that was a moment there, and then I tell you something. At the beginning of every summer, like now, T-shirt, weather in that manner.
yeah.
Like that's my thing. So like the first day, you know, like
the first day of Wolf. Yeah, I know.
Like, boy, London's gonna be sick this year, you know, because we spent like months cussing London. Saying, oh, it's rubbish. It's grimy, it's grim, and then the sun comes out. I remember I was driving over the bridge and I was like, yo, I know what tune I need today.
I always get people sending me their clips on Instagram of like that first day, you know what I mean?
Bruv, because it's
T-shirt,
like a reminder, innit? And obviously, I mean, was it like a first day or something thing that inspired that song?
I don't know.
Must have been walking in the ends or
I
something.
don't know where it came from. But yeah, it just happened.
But it lives on, and we've gone from like the beginning of my summer this year was T-shirt, weather in the manor, and then it's like the end of summer because let's face it, we are closing off summer right right now,
time,
and it's like it is hoodies,
yeah.
hoodies all summer. Like, tell me a bit about the concept and how you feel you've come from like one place to the other, and just like the journey and why you think you are where you are today, and the message in the album.
Yeah, I think for me it was it's like I started working on this about 3 years ago after the last album, and I was a bit like I talked about all the things I wanted to do musically, but I was a bit stuck lyrically, to be honest. I didn't know what to say, and I told a lot of stories on Made in a Manor, like my personal stories and, you know, friends and family and whatnot, and I feel like maybe I revealed it all at that moment. But then I just reversed the lens and just started looking outward and talking about what was going on, and that opened a whole new world to me. And obviously the time we're in and what's happening in Britain and London especially, there's a lot to talk about. So that's the big change, and that's why I arrived like at this place, and I feel it's important for, you know, people to hear me speak, but it's not like a critique, or it's not, you know, like a preach or whatever. It's just like, yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're going through. I'm from it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a bit older now, I'm wise, I've got a new perspective. Have you looked at it like this? Just having a conversation, because I feel like if we let the media tell our narrative, it's, you know what I mean? We can't do that. We've got to, you know what I mean? We've got to do this. And we've got to speak, you know? And certain things ain't good, and we can't hide that fact. But we know why they ain't good. We know why people feel, you know what I mean, that they're stuck in this place, and society has kind of, you know, and circumstances have kind of brought them to this situation, and that's why they feel stuck and feel like they're voiceless, you know. But I've got a microphone, so I can be a voice. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at now with this album.
Perfect, man. So, like, when you was putting the album together, were you thinking about features, or did you then do the album and think, do you know what, it'd be sick to get this one on, it'd be sick to get a couple of other, like, what was the thought process in putting it together?
I was thinking about, I probably was thinking about Popcorn before the tune came, but it was like, I wasn't going to just do anything or just, like, send beats over, and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was going to wait till something that I thought was perfect, and then do that. So yeah, it's generally like, you know, we're kind of in a good shape with the music, and then we would reach out to the feature, and that's how the Kojo one came about, and the Popcorn one too. I went over to Jamaica and we done that there in his yard and that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that happened there, and then the D and and gets one. Obviously,
Come on. Hey, listen.
that's what it is. That's fam.
I
That's
feel like
history.
I feel like people want that. Like, you waiting for a Kano album, but we want to hear that.
Yeah. People wanted that, and that's the one that came right at the end. To be fair, that was the last song we done.
For real.
And we got songs that was working on for like 3 years, like getting the sound right and whatever. Then literally the song was just like 1 week. You know what I mean? From making the beat to getting them on it.
Like the performance or a performance of yours that sticks in my head. You won the award at the Rated Awards right at the end.
Oh yeah.
And they gave that award to you.
Yeah.
And you got up on stage and you performed, and obviously Gets got up there with you, and it was like, wow.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's like my, you know what I mean? That's my brother, man. And we've just got, obviously aside from music, but in terms of music, we've just got a synergy, and we've just got like a telepathic kind of communication thing going on, and I feel like when we do something back to back, when we did do something back to back before, it was special. So we was always like, if we do it again, we've got to raise the bar again. This one's got to be like gone. And we had fun doing that. We had fun.
Madness, absolute madness. On the album, particular tracks that stand out for you as like personal favourites?
Personals, like probably Got My Brandy, Got My Beats. Teardrops is a mad personal one for me, and the one I'm probably playing most, probably Can't Hold Me Down, the Popcorn one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hear that.
But it's all personal for me, innit?
I hear you.
Yeah. Those
SYM.
are 3 different tunes for different moments. Oh, SYM. That's we've been rehearsing that as well.
That tune there.
That's my tune. I see a wicked clip the other day of someone like pretending to like conduct the choir. It was sick.
That tune there, like, I want to see you perform that. I got to see you perform that.
Man, I can't wait to perform that at Royal Albert Hall. I'm
Hall.
sure those words have never been said in that building before.
This is what I'm trying to say. Obviously, when they done some grand thing there before, which was sick, and you know what I'm gonna say? I think they have been said there once before, because when I see Krept and Conan do their thing there, and obviously Krept loves that line. I couldn't imagine Krept's playing this tune like over and over it, and they're probably imagining himself on the remix right now. This is like his line right now. But Royal Albert Hall, how did it come about? Of all concert venues, of all places, people doing O2 Academy, Islington, can we do Wembley, can we do O2, is it Indigo 2 thing? Oh, should we do Shepherd's Bush Hall? Should we do an intimate venue? Well, you come shut down the thing with Royal Albert Hall. How's that come about?
Yeah, nice. Something I've always wanted to do. I've wanted to do for a minute now. And it's just like, to me, it's such a historic building, you know what I mean? And to hear our music there will be something special, and I feel like the music, especially on this album with the strings and whatever, it can fit there, you know what I mean? But I also want to do what's unique about us there as well. I don't want to completely conform to that building. I still want to have the rave, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what I'm excited about, you know what I mean? Going to Royal Albert Hall, but also bringing the Royal Albert Hall to us. I remember supporting Jay-Z there 2007.
Jeez.
And that was like, I was just like, wow, this is it's crazy. I want to come back here one day and do my own thing. And it'll be that day soon.
And it's happening, it's happening. Exciting times, man, exciting times. As it must have been when, you've spent a year recording Top Boy and it touches down on the screen.
Soon,
like,
real
what's
soon.
happening now, bro?
Yeah. It's, it's mad. It's crazy time, because obviously these are coming like quite close together. But that was just, it's good, man, because throughout the 6 years of it not being on TV or whatever, it's like, after a couple of years, you think people are going to stop asking, it's going to die down, they're going to get the picture, it's never going to... Like, I started telling people, listen, it's never happening. Stop asking me, it's never going to happen, because I knew it wasn't going to happen with Channel 4 anyway. So when the call finally came and it became an actual reality and a possibility, I was like, okay, cool. Firstly, excited about it. Happy to give the fans what they want, you know what I mean? And then they can stop bugging me on the road. But secondly was like, I want to be involved, but only if it's made with the same integrity, you know what I mean? Made in the same way. I don't want to see it just like watered down, or they was talking about Top Boy America with mixing the carrot and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
This is what the rumors were, and this is all I was
there
hearing.
Bare rumors.
Exactly. So when we sat down and said, "Nah, man, it's gonna be made the right way," I was like, "I'm in."
So that was a conversation. It weren't, what are we doing it? Yeah, I'm in. It was literally, nah, let me come and chat to you.
Yeah.
Mad, interesting stuff, man. That's good though, and it's interesting that obviously that's a conscious decision.
Yeah, it is, and it's just about representing real. Obviously, it's a show for entertainment, of course, but me, especially the artist I am as well, everything has to be rooted in truth. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want, I just wouldn't want to be a part of something that I don't believe in. No matter how big it is. You know what I mean? If they said it's gonna be the biggest show ever, bigger than Game of Thrones, but it's gonna be quite cheesy, would you want to be involved in it? I'm the guy I'm just gonna say no. I'm out. You know what I mean? And be pissed about it later on. Be vexed about it later on when I ain't got the money that Ashley Waters has got. But it just has to be right, and hopefully we've done it justice, and hopefully people love it.
Have you seen it through yet, or is it?
I was watching it last. I saw up until 6. Yesterday I watched 7 and 8, and when I get home I'll probably watch.
The excitement in your face, and you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
I keep hearing that. I know I'm jumping way ahead, but I keep hearing episode 10 is the one. I ain't there yet, so don't take my word. But episode 10's meant to be the maddest.
My days. Are you just gonna tell me that and just let me just.
But at least you don't have to wait like 10 weeks to episode 10 because Netflix, innit? So
is that how it's?
Boom, all at once.
But they're not gonna drop it all at once.
All at once.
Serious?
All at once.
Because even Netflix, I swear, you like sometimes they'll do this, drop it one.
I think they do that when it's on another TV show.
Is it?
So they, they're told they can only do it week by week. But when it's a Netflix original, all at once.
Is that how it goes?
It's a binge thing.
It's hard though because like you can binge in it, but then it's like sometimes I like to. Well, if you ever get like a pack of biscuits and you eat like 4,
yeah, I know,
and
I
you
know.
put it.
I'm with you.
I'm an idiot. I put them in the kitchen downstairs. Come upstairs, knowing I'm gonna go back and get more, and then I'm gonna go back downstairs just because you kind of like.
You want to ration it out, innit?
Yeah, bro.
I know.
Like, I'm gonna be the guy that's not seen episode 10
I would
for a
say
while.
definitely do the first 4.
Cool.
At least in one sitting, and then play it how you want to play it. But definitely do the first 4.
Kano told me. So I got to do it. Right. Anyone who's in it that we haven't kind of seen in the trailers?
Nah, not obviously there will be characters, but in terms of the one you've seen, like the main, you know what I mean. Dave Sims is in it, and they're smashing it as well, doing like extremely well. Like Dave's surprised me so much as well. Like he's proper.
I saw him perform at Reading Festival as well.
Oh, yeah.
The guy just impressed me. His like composure.
I went to his show at Brixton. That was cool. But with Dave, it's like I don't know. I see a lot of myself in him. Like he's like a thinker. He's an analyzer. You know what I mean? And he's in it for the art. You know what I mean? And he like when he told me it was his 21st birthday the other day, I was like, huh? Because he's so like wise beyond these years. So I think he's gonna be here for as long as he wants to be here.
Love that. Did you talk much about linking up musically?
Didn't really talk. We spoke loads, but not necessarily about linking up musically. But I think it's probably inevitable.
Yeah, just something that will happen.
I would love to.
Did you talk to anyone else? Like, is it even a conversation? Like, let's get in the studio. Like when you're on, Top Boy Cast has got like.
Yeah, no. When you're on set, it's kind of just
acting.
On set. Yeah, we don't even really like talk like that.
Yeah. And what about like in terms of like
sometimes I've got friends that are on set and they purposely blank me, you know, because like in storyline they want to stick with their, the character and things like that.
I heard Bashi's.
He's the worst.
Is that guy?
Yeah, he's the worst. Literally, I would talk to him the day before, you know what I mean, and then he would just walk past me at lunch. I was like, right, all right, this energy, safe. and then we'll talk like on the way home or something. Everyone was like, like laugh about it and whatever. But
but I
it's
respect
serious.
when it takes it that seriously.
Of course.
In terms of like of acting, is that something that you really think? You know what? I'd like to pursue this outside. Obviously, Top Boy is one thing, but like to pursue out of it and like kind of spend time doing.
It's not because time spent doing acting is time away from music. Because I wish I was the person that could do, multitask, do two at the same time, but I'm not. So I just know if I was to, I don't know, go to LA for like a year or 2 years or whatever and just try and make it happen and whatnot, it would be tough for me because my heart is in music. But that's not to say one day it can happen. Yeah. And there isn't an age on music, but you might come to a point where you don't want to be, touring anymore or doing, you know what I mean? But in terms of acting, there really isn't an age on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could happen down the line, so maybe.
Fact, love that, man. So obviously this is the breakfast show, it's the Beat London, it's 103.6 FM. One thing that people just want to know in general, and I always ask people, what do you want to know about this artist? Same question comes up. What do you have for breakfast, bro?
Yeah? You want to know that?
Yeah, I'm really serious.
I don't eat breakfast.
No, bro, you can't skip breakfast.
I do.
Is that the most important meal of the day? They say.
I don't eat breakfast.
Serious?
Yeah, my guy at the gym, he's been telling me like I gotta eat breakfast and that, but I just can't do it, bro. Can't do it. I might come back from the gym, have a smoothie, something like that. He's got me into porridge, but yeah, I can't do it.
Saying big lunch, big dinner, man.
Yeah, for years I've been like a 1 meal a day kind of guy. I'm getting better now. It's like 2-ish.
And still come out with these tunes.
Oh,
it's a bit,
God.
That's
So I'm on the breakfast show.
Skipping breakfast, where I'm
empty
always
stomach.
telling people don't skip breakfast. Well, coffee, tea, like
Yeah, tea. I'm a tea guy.
tea. Yeah. How'd you have it?
I've changed now. I used to have 2 sugar, milky-ish, and now I'm like half a sugar.
Go on, he's
and
cut
like,
down.
And like oat milk. You know what I mean? Man's all gentrified out here.
No, you say the gym every day, yeah?
Sometimes I'll be training with Wretch, as it goes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we get in.
Sick, love that. Kano on the Beat London 103.6 FM. What do people need to be looking out for from Kano after this?
I would just say the tour in October. You know what I mean? Most of it ain't available, but I've just put on some more dates for the end of January/February. So yeah, look at all my socials and you'll find tickets for those venues. So yeah,
we're looking forward to it, man. We're looking forward to it, especially that Royal album.
Of course.
It's gonna be a moment.
Respect.
So yeah, big up yourself.
Appreciate
Enough
it.
love.
We are the beat of your city. The Beat London 103.6 FM.